Oh, baby, here we go. We're live. Ringside Collectibles, WrestlingFigures.com with an all-new drop. Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA Wrestling right here, the very first one. It's Mr. Joe Hendry himself. The I Believe edition. Some black designs here. This is the main version. And, of course, we have a nice variant blue trim right here to cover a couple of different moments in Joe Hendry's career. The illustrious Joe Hendry, known for, of course, the famous theme song, I Believe in Joe Hendry. And the I Believe edition features a music bass. So, oh my God, Joe Hendry figure. That's right. This one is, yeah, we're live, buddy. Hop in, keep it going. We'll definitely open it up as everyone joins. I also believe in Joe Hendry, and I believe in Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA. Very exciting. There's a long time coming, of course. Joe Hendry having a lot of major moments this year, right? All the way back to even WrestleMania. He's just bouncing around all over the place. So it's just interesting to mention the fact that Joe Hendry, a TNA wrestling world champion, makes an appearance at WrestleMania is like unprecedented, just absolutely crazy. Just so exciting to see. And even aside from that, everything that he does in TNA wrestling is just memorable for everyone. All right. Everyone's jumping in here. Joe Hendry's a memorable guy, also a memorable theme song. Here's his all-new wrestling action figure in Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA Wrestling. We're going to open it up. Take a look. It is currently on Ringside Collectibles right now. The I Believe edition, Joe Hendry, both the black designs and the blue trim, they're in stock. Shipping right here. The I Believe edition, of course, is a music-based figure. Joe Hendry, famously with the entrance theme that everyone knows and loves to sing along to. And in the ring, former TNA World Heavyweight Champion, of course, representing his stripes proudly and being truly one of the most unbelievable crossover wrestling superstars in a very long time. In a way that, even some of the superstars that have come and gone from TNA that are major stars at this point can't quite say they've done what Joe Hendry has done in just really breaking the barriers with all these different wrestling rosters. Very cool. So, I'm going a little fast here. Let's take a look at the packaging because it's really nice. Ringside Unsanctioned, of course, the TNA Wrestling logo right here. This is a Ringside Collectibles exclusive. You will not find this in any retail store. WrestlingFigures.com is where you have to get this. All new. You can see the Joe Hendry I Believe edition. I Believe in Joe Hendry right here on the side. On the back, the lyrics to that famous theme song. Great entrance music. And represented well right here with an entrance space with a try me button right here on the side. Let's listen. That's right. There it is. The Joe Hendry theme song playing on the Joe Hendry, I Believe edition, Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA right here. The very first figure in the Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA wrestling action figure line. Open that right here. As you can see, whoop, some protective plastic covering, and I'm dipping it down, but right here, a removable Joe Hendry t-shirt. So we've got a soft goods shirt right here, Velcro in the back. I Believe in Joe Hendry logo in the front. Joe Hendry's memorable white t-shirt right here that he wore through most of his TNA run. Available now on Ringside Collectibles. That's correct. Thank you, SLS buddy over there. Yeah, we're finally opening it to that other dude that was like, "Hey, can you open it already?" I'm here. We're opening it up. We just had a look at the t-shirt. The reason I'm kind of jumping back and forth is I see a lot of people joining, so I want to make sure that everyone gets to see some of the cool details here. The Joe Hendry t-shirt right here. He does fit in the scale of your other wrestling action figures. So if you collect WWE Elites, this is meant to scale with your WWE Elites. If you're still collecting Jazzwares, AEW wrestling action figures over there, scales pretty well with those too. So totally worth checking into it. Let's get a good close look at Joe's big smile right here. Check that out. Looking good, buddy. Another excellent detail. Joe Hendry, pretty manly guy, right? With that chest hair. We had to make sure some of that detail got in there, and I think the factory did an incredible job on that chest hair detail. As you can see, different articulation points right here. We got that waistband right there. Some knee pads. So these are going to be a little more. I know you're used to the removable knee pads on the other Ringside Unsanctioned figures. We made a different decision on this one to go ahead and go with and just an open back version to give us another mold, something to work with. So let me go ahead and pull this out so I can give you a look at it. So here it is right in the bubble. A couple of hand accessories there you can see. You get it on. There we go. And of course, alternate head sculpt. Little serious face, a little bit more direct right there. Make sure I get that in focus for you. Looking good. And of course, the smile on the main figure itself. So, oh, and the music base. I won't press it right this second because then we'll be listening to it for a while because it plays the entire theme song. And it's pretty long in a good way. Nice to hear. So we've got a couple tabs on here. I'm just going to pop them. I suggest maybe you do it with a blade or something a little easier. Just have somebody help you if you need. Check it out. The loose Joe Hendry TNA Unsanctioned. Excuse me, Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA figure right here. Big smile. Full articulation on that head. Go ahead, get acquainted. We're also acquainted with Joe Hendry's smile. Here's the wrestling action figure version. Looking good. Chest hair on here as well. I got to give a shout out for that detail. So if you see on his tights right here, his short tights, we've got black and silver trim. Now, this is pretty exciting because, you know, we've been working on these figures for a while, definitely like the Joe Hendry especially. We wanted to get it, you know, at a place where we felt really good about releasing it. And as we're doing that, it took a little bit longer than we had hoped. Like I've been thinking about and just absolutely ecstatic to show this to everybody for such a long time. And I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. But there are just some changes that we had to make and, you know, more adjustments and things to just get some of those little details right. In that happening, one thing we're able to do is Joe Hendry started wearing, you know, in a little bit earlier, not that long ago, like a few months ago in the year, some black short tights with silver trim, black and blue, excuse me. And so we were able to get that implemented onto the figure, which I think is really exciting and a testament to not only how well, you know, our factory works with us when we want to have maybe some type of adjustment or change or update, But the fact that when these are in like a good position to be released by us, we like choose to release them. You know, I want to be in a good place to say, okay, let's get an all new like member of the roster out here. Let's get like a classic TNA moment that we've been working on for a while out. If something's like available and ready, we can just kind of go, oh yeah, boom, let's like get it out there, you know? So here it is, the Joe Hendry, I Believe edition, Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned, TNA Wrestling. Very exciting. So just popped off the smile there. We'll have a little time with the serious head. Whoop. Nice and easy to get on. There we go. Got the wrist tape painted on right there, of course. Got great articulation here. You know, excellent. Oh, losing focus. So there we go. Excellent, you know, posability, of course. We've got some C-grip hands here and fist hands. So, you know, that's kind of the standard for professional wrestlers, I would say, as wrestling action figures. So you can switch them back and forth. Take a look at that gear, all new. So really exciting. I believe in Joe Hendry. Don't we all, baby? Ringside Collectibles, TNA. A match made in heaven, I'd say. Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned. TNA Wrestling right here with the inaugural Joe Hendry figure. Two editions. What's the difference? I like that you asked that. Let's take a look at the other edition. So you just saw the black trim version. We also have a blue trim version right here. So the sculpts will be the same, but we've got some pretty significant gear differences here. So open that baby right up. Of course, he also comes with the music bass that plays the song, which I'll press again right now so you can hear it out of the package now that everyone's here. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Love in London and Paris and Tokyo, America, Scotland and Canada and Mexico. They say I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. There you go. That's the music bass playing right here. How weird is it to watch me have to hold that the entire time and just kind of sway it? But it's a lot of fun because Joe Hendry, a fun guy, a great professional wrestler, former TNA World Heavyweight Champion, and kicking off the Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA Wrestling action figures. So someone over there was like, hey, what company is selling TNA figures? We are Ringside Collectibles in the RSC Toys Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned line. We're jumping right into it, you know? Oh, yeah. So here's the current version. So this is the main version. It's like a very recent look at Joe Hendry's short tights. You can see the open back knee pads right there, painted, you know, accurately. And we also have, whoop, I did the same thing with the shirt twice. We also have the blue trim version right here. So this is a little bit earlier gear. And I will go ahead and take this one out. Just snap the tabs real quick. We have some hand accessories, a soft goods t-shirt accessory, and this one has the Serious Joe Hendry sculpt on. Make sure we're in focus here. Looking good. Don't want to get too close and ruin it. Ah, jeez. I see why Magic holds his hand in front of the toy. I'm not too used to doing that, but there it is. Hopefully you can see it okay. Looking good though. We've got, so here's the version with the blue trim. Same head sculpts, same body molds, right? Really exciting. Yeah, thank you everyone. Very, very amazing. Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA Wrestling action figures right here. The first two are the Joe Hendry and Joe Hendry variant right there. There we go. Yeah, that's a nice view. And so this is like your main version with the black gear, silver trim, and the kind of, we call it the blue version right here, but it's like there's a little bit of teal in there, right? And also the extra silver Joe Hendry logo on the pant leg right there, the short tight leg. And open back knee pads, different design on this one, you know. But so if you prefer a version of Joe Hendry and, you know, maybe a little bit earlier in his run in TNA, this is a little bit of a throwback at this point. And of course, just recently, he's been wearing, you know, we've seen him with silver a lot lately too. And of course, you know, things can happen with that. You never know. But we've seen him recently wear this black and silver version. And so that's when we were able to really kind of get this pressed in and getting ready to go, that was one of the versions of short tights he was wearing. And so we were able to get it on the figure as kind of a last minute change. So how much? You're going to have to check the website because I don't know actually right off the top of my head. I've been so busy today prepping to open this calmly because I've been waiting so long to show it to you guys and tell you about it that, you know, I'm even like a little bit nervous tonight because it's so cool. Just the idea of a Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA wrestling figure line. You know, it's not just that we have Joe Hendry. There's also a line coming from Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned of TNA wrestling. You know, we've got some names being worked on, and I can finally reveal, you know, we're working on a little bit more than what you've already seen. You know, obviously you've seen the Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned Road Warriors. You've seen the Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned Demolition with a couple of variants. And here we are. Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for hopping on with me. We're just goofing around here with some all new Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA Wrestling Joe Hendry action figures. The main version with the black trim and the blue variant right here. Looking good. Of course, a little bit of a throwback Joe Hendry here if you'd like that, and black and silver right there. And of course, oh, you know what? Been a while for the t-shirt here. Of course, we've got a removable soft goods Joe Hendry, I Believe in Joe Hendry shirt. And so while we're just hanging out, I'll go ahead and put it on. Yeah, I want to also know, yeah, I see the cool names in the chat, Leon Slater, like, you want me to play the bass again? Again? Let's do it. Let me just put this on and I will press play. This is like the moment where you're watching a wrestling match and, you know, everyone's like, is he going to come out? Is he coming? And you just like, everyone's like, when is the entrance music going to hit? And they're like, what?
He appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. London and Paris and Tokyo, America, Scotland and Canada and Mexico. They say I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
There we go, gang. Ringside Collectibles exclusive Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA Wrestling. Joe Hendry, the first wrestling action figure in the Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA Wrestling lineup. We have the main version with the black trim and silver. And of course, a variant right here with the blue trim, the blue design. Looking good. So let me dip into the chat right here. Any other figs? There are some coming. So we have some, for sure, some excellent members of the TNA wrestling roster in development. If you're looking up and down the roster right now, thinking and looking like, oh man, who could we make in like the TNA roster? Like that's also what we do. Duh, it's really exciting. Very cool to think like, who on this roster can be like a wrestling action figure to fit in, with like a massive collection like that, who looks good, who has cool gear, like what is their entrance like? What have they done at TNA events, and the whole kind of that kind of energy in the house. Like what are some of the most memorable matches, right? Like Joe Hendry, former TNA World Heavyweight Champion, high ranks right there. That puts you in the rankings with some of the best to ever do it. So I see a lot of names getting thrown out there, looking good. New ones, older ones, Mike Santana, Leon Slater, Hardy Boys, even Eric Young. I see that Nick Nemeth, of course, so many talented folks on the roster. Let me just pull it up so I can look myself and we can talk about it together, so I'm not missing anything or leaving anybody out. But there's lots of possibilities, lots of classic things. Of course, the current TNA World Heavyweight Champion, Kazarian, I think that would be a great person to be made into a TNA wrestling action figure. Lei Ying Lee, of course, Knockouts World Champion. Anybody that's like kind of reached the championship level, I think you could consider that. We've considered it and looked into it. You want to start strong with some like heavy hitters, right? So you got to make sure that you're getting like the figures out there that are things that people really want and have like maybe holes in their collection, something that they could add to what they already have, let's look at the packaging again. So we've got a couple different versions here. This is the black and white version. I took the bubbles out. Of course, the figures are right here, but I want to give you another look. Well, I'll put I'll put the insert in there so you can see that too. But we've got a nice, pretty cool wrestling design on the insert, Get that crowd going, of course. A classic way to do things. Joe Hendry signs going on up there. Lots of good stuff, right? I'm a fan. So that's the backdrop for this version, which is the main version, of course, the Black Designs version, we'll call it. Look at that there. So you see the front of it, the figure. Of course, we have it out right now. We're kind of messing with it, but you can see TNA Wrestling right here, Ringside Collectibles exclusive. Super exciting. Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. This is the I Believe edition, we're calling it. The I Believe edition. Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA Wrestling. Very exciting. There's, of course, a try me button on the side. So when you are messing with the music base, boom, you hit it right there. If you're a mock collector, don't worry. You're playing Joe Hendry's music right along with everybody else. If you're opening it up, of course, let's have another look at it here. Nice and simple. A button press. Excellent. You want me to press it? Just keeping it quiet here. So we can keep talking about it. How tall is it? Good question. The figure itself lining up, I would say accurately with your other wrestling action figure collectors. Ash by Elegance would be awesome. I agree with that. I think that would be a great choice for a wrestling action figure. A lot of good names being thrown around. There is a music base, yes. Right here. Click. I promise I'll play it, but I want to make sure we're getting the chance to talk about it. And When Joe Hendry's theme song fills an arena, you can't hear anything else but cheers and his theme music. So you can see the lyrics to the song right there. Joe Hendry smiling on the back. Looking good. Will there be more TNA figures soon? You can bet there will be. This is not the last TNA wrestling action figure. It is the first of hopefully many as we get this going here. And congratulations to TNA, of course, on their TNA wrestling, on their television deal. And I think that makes me even more excited about this. Is like, how can we put these in a position that, you know, if you're start watching, you know, because then you're able to follow your favorites like even more closely, and not just the fact that like TNA wrestling can grow and have so many more eyes on it is like really exciting, but then that makes it easier for us to make wrestling action figures of it, right? You know, so you know, Knockouts Championship, I could see that coming. Yeah, there's definitely like some classics that have been on there. As far as like people, so definitely you got to make sure you're keeping in mind that at the moment we're working with people that are like on the TNA roster, you know. So if they're working like maybe for another major company, then but they were like, you know, once a major TNA, like I've seen, I'll just say it, like Abyss thrown out there. Like we can't do Abyss because Abyss, of course, is contracted to the WWE, and that's very simple, and that's how it is. So just think, I would kind of focus your energy towards thinking about who's on the TNA wrestling roster, and that is you know, a really exciting thought. Outside of that, you know, regular Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned, that's a different story, but we're here to talk about Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA wrestling. We have two versions right here. This is the I Believe edition. Let's get a smile face on here. I just noticed they're both took that other one off. Let's see, just a minute. There we go. Okay. There's a comparison right there for you. Both head sculpts. Joe Hendry with a removable soft goods white shirt. I believe in Joe Hendry. The big smile right there. Open it up with Velcro, of course, in the back. There you go, right there. You can see the full articulation. Ready for the crossbodies and the athleticism of the wrestling action figure ring. Perfect. How long will the figure be on Ringside? That I can't say. In fact, it may already. I'm hoping it's not sold out, so you can. Some of you, if you missed it, you can still kind of jump and get it. But don't worry, we'll have some more sooner than later. But it still should be on WrestlingFigures.com right now. So you jump over there and check and see what you think. Yeah, I like that you're calling out some accessories and stuff like that. I'm totally down for accessories too. I think that is definitely going to be something that'll happen with this line. So that'll be very cool. There's that serious face again, right? And that smile face again. Two versions. This is the main version, black designs, and this version, blue trim right here. So we've got that blue teal look, and of course the silver Joe Hendry logo on the side. Knee pads with the silver in the back right there. You can see the silver trim along the bottom too. That is definitely captured. Great job to the designers on this one, I have to say. Foot articulation, of course. We got the toe taps right there on both feet. The knee pads, you know, I know you're in Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned used to removable knee pads. Not this time. We wanted to make sure we captured that kind of open back look, but they move really nicely, you know. They're not stiff or anything like that. You just kind of perfectly posable and playable, I would say. The Joe Hendry logo again in silver right there. We've got the painted on wrist tape, painted on chest hair, of course. Joe Hendry with that chest hair. Can do that pose. Ready? Boom. Right? Okay. So Joe Hendry, all smiles, Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned. Oh yeah, sorry. Let me go over the other packaging as well over here. There is a guide sheet in case you need help installing or replacing the 3 batteries. We've got a guide sheet just for you. Use a screwdriver. Okay, so this is the blue trim version right here, and you can see the packaging a little bit more like blue tinted, kind of a blue pattern on the side here, but looking good on each side. And of course, the Try Me button right there. Ringside Collectibles, Unsanctioned, TNA Wrestling. Thank you to TNA Wrestling, of course, for giving us the opportunity to work on this as well. It's really exciting. Very cool. And there's the bottom for you, even just to have a look. On the back, you can see the blue background for the blue trim right there. So thank you for the good news about saying that it looks great. Yeah, so lots of rings also, that's on the table too. Definitely, we've had discussions about that. I think someone's like, honestly, TNA should make figures with y'all. That's exactly what's happening. TNA is making figures with us, and this is the start of it. Of course, Joe Hendry, former TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Let me go right back to the roster like we were looking at before. Lots of cool names here, right? The Iconics, of course. Excuse me, the Inspiration. Don't kill me, please. Lots of good names. Major players, of course. I saw that thrown out there. Ash by Elegance. Cedric Alexander, of course. Go all the way down the roster. I think anyone is possible to be considered. So what I would say is congratulations. Commissioner Santino would be cool. I would like a whistle. That would be sick. A classic AJ Styles. So just to be clear again with everyone, I kind of said it before, the former members of the TNA wrestling roster, they're not really up to be considered for us. That's not really how it works. So we're focusing kind of on the current TNA wrestling roster, with all those great names. As I run down and just read off the folks that are here. Lots of great gear, lots of great detail. Nick Nemeth, of course, yeah. Moose, yes, I saw that thrown out there a bunch of times. Rascals 4-pack, I could see that. There's lots of things you can see when it comes to wrestling action figures. Press the button.
Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. London, and Paris, and Tokyo, America, Scotland, and Canada, and Mexico. They say, I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
There we go. Joe Hendry, I Believe edition. Two versions right here. The blue version, the blue design. This is the variant. Blue trim. And, of course, the main version, black designs. Joe Hendry, of course, wearing the black designs a little bit more recently. And, of course, then the blue trim right here, that kind of blue and teal look. That's a little bit earlier in the year and all the way maybe to last year, I think. So a couple different versions. We kind of get some of the classic stuff in there, classic Joe Hendry, and then some of the new stuff. So let's see. I also like the blue version personally. As far as a name, we're not making anything for AWA Wrestling. That's not this right now, and even other Ringside Unsanctioned. But if someone is an individual independent name, not necessarily attached to another company, for sure, we can always consider that name. Of course, removable cloth t-shirt, Joe Hendry. I Believe edition right here. I believe in Joe Hendry. There's the shirt. Boom. Thanks for all the nice feedback so far. I really appreciate that. As I said earlier, let me put the figure on the base here so you can have a look at it. We got a foot tab, you know, and we are, you know, we're always listening and thinking about like which, you know, types of stands you have and stuff like that as we develop these. So you never know, that could change in the future. But in this case, you can see, look at that. 2 hands up here to show that the Joe Hendry can stand on the music base right here. So great. And that music base also with the Joe Hendry, I believe in Joe Hendry logo in the front right here. The Ringside Collectibles stamp on there, if you can see that shining through. I said his name and his figure appeared. Here we go. Joe Hendry, baby. So Kalani Jordan, that's probably, you know, a Kalani Jordan Elite. I don't know when that's coming, but I understand it can sometimes maybe sometimes get a little confusing, right? There's a lot of jumping back and forth, but that's what makes it exciting, right? Thank you very much for the good word. Oh, that's nice of you. So yeah, again, like we've been working on this for so long that even when I was like at WrestleMania this year, we were just like, oh yes, can we please just come out with this tomorrow? You know, me and John on the Ringside side, of course, founder, CEO, president of Ringside, who was standing right next to John Cena as he made his way in the Royal Rumble 2008. So if you go back and watch that footage, Ringside Collectibles represents John and Trevor right there. I digress, but it's an exciting point. And the reason for that is because, you know, I've been lucky enough to be at some of these WrestleManias with those big moments. And when Joe Hendry came this year, we were like, oh yes, like the TNA World Heavyweight Champion is like on the grandest stage of them all, basically. Like, so wild to think that, but you know, to really just kind of show that the TNA wrestling roster is something that we could work on, I just couldn't wait to do. So, oh, covering the logo here. Sorry about that. Joe Hendry, former TNA World Heavyweight Champion, here representing the first figure in the Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA wrestling line. I will play the song again. How about we do it? We'll play the song with him on the bass. You can see the speaker right there. Boom.
Amen. He appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Love in London and Paris and Tokyo, America, Scotland and Canada and Mexico. They say I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
There you go. Yes, I'm holding both versions right here. This is the blue trim version right here. Keep in mind they come with both head sculpts each version, so you know it's just more like a little bit of a packaging variant and also a gear variant. So the blue trim version will have the smiling face and the serious face, and then of course the black designs version, which is the main version of the Joe Hendry, I believe, edition. Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA wrestling action figure right here. Yes, the scale is like the figures that you typically collect. You know, of course, we want it to fit in line with all those other great wrestling action figures that you have. So we're definitely designing these to scale with the figures that you already own. 2 versions right here. They're already out. It's dropped right now. So this is in stock at Ringside. I haven't, because I'm live streaming, I don't know. I haven't looked at the website if it's, you know, still there or not. I hope so. If you're, yeah, good. We still got some. All right, they're up. Yeah, it's in stock right now. Ringside Collectibles, WrestlingFigures.com. It is a limited quantity, but we're going to have more, very soon. We want to make sure we got some to you guys in the time for the holiday season. So just definitely like hop over there if you're looking for like a last minute kind of wrestling figure fan gift. This is definitely like where it's at. 2 versions of Joe Hendry, of course. Kicking off, yeah, you can get excited for titles down the line. I would say yes to that. I think you're going to get your first TNA title probably like way sooner than you think. And I have versions of it that I've already seen, and it looks like fantastic, and I can't wait to have it in your collection. Yeah, Ringside Collectibles does ship to Canada. Not sure where you're located, but you can always check out at checkout, figure out what your shipping costs will be to your location. Let's see. Yeah, so right now on the site, $39.99. It is in stock, so you can pick it up right now, either version. They're both out there. Joe Hendry right here, the I Believe edition with the Joe Hendry music bass right here that plays Joe Hendry's infamous theme song. On the back of our packaging, this is the blue trim version of packaging right here. On the sides, you see Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Of course, there we go. TNA Wrestling right there. Amazing to see that logo on that packaging. Very cool. I've always been also a major TNA Wrestling fan. Some of the best matches I've ever watched in my life come from TNA Wrestling. And I want some of the best figures you ever get a chance to play with to come from TNA Wrestling as well. Very exciting. Ringside Collectibles exclusive, of course. The I Believe edition. The blue trim. Here's the blue trim packaging. When it is in the package, it has a try me button. Beep. Blue on the back as well. Looking good. See the backdrop right there? Oh, yeah, I took it out of the other box. Sorry about that. But both versions have a backdrop here. Wrestling backdrop, kind of that crowd detail. I think it looks excellent, especially with a figure behind it. I took it out of the bubble, but just to give you an idea, it definitely pops really nicely. It's cool. Cool figure, great packaging, and so exciting and proud to have TNA Wrestling action figures come to Ringside Collectibles under Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned. Yeah, so the scale is like the figures that you already have. There aren't any wave hands on this one, but and of course, like Joe Hendry is unfortunately no longer on the TNA roster for us. He's still making appearances, but there's a couple maybe things that can come down the line in the short term, but probably like wave hands would have to come with somebody else at this point. We maybe are able to swap them because their skin tones are similar, but probably not a wave hand on a Joe Hendry figure from us. But that said, very exciting. Of course, like you can see the even the infamous smile pose right there. You can make it. If you haven't taken a look at the photos that we have on the site, go ahead and take a look at those. Some excellent poses. Have some. I need one for my 29th birthday. I got you, buddy. Happy birthday. All you got to do is take out, whatever your form of payment is and get it for yourself for your birthday. Treat yourself, as they say. I don't know. So price is kind of crazy. I could definitely talk to you about that a little bit, but yeah, I don't think it's that crazy. I think, with the value of what we have, some interchangeable accessories, 2 sets of hands. We do have, that extra articulation there. Great detail, not only in the chest hair, but just all the entire paint job of the figure. And that's of course the first thing I see when I look at it. 2 different versions. Entrance music bass, of course, that is definitely added value, I would say. Especially when you hear it. There you go. And then, like he'll enter the ring and just come out and like this will happen.
Day that he appears, I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. To the love of London and Paris and Tokyo.
There we go.
America, Scotland,
Joe Hendry,
Canada,
wrestling action figure right here.
I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
There we go. TNA Wrestling joining the fray right here. Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA Wrestling action figures. Debut figure, Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Of course, Bound for Glory. Lots happening. Lots of memorable things. The Joe Hendry concerts, of course. An excellent singer. Lots of good memories with this homie right here. And all the more exciting is the future. What that means, Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA Wrestling action figures now revealed. And the first one, Joe Hendry right here. Boom. This is all, a long time coming and really exciting. And I'm happy that we finally get to reveal it. 2 head sculpts, of course. The soft goods shirt right here. The entrance base that we just heard and we'll hear again shortly. And 2 sets of interchangeable hands. We've got the fist and the infamous C grip right here. Keep things groovy in the TNA wrestling ring. You can see the detail in the short tights right here. And of course, we have 2 versions, so there are some, there's differences. So different color knee pads, of course. If you prefer maybe a little bit more of an older school Joe Hendry look, you've got this one right here with this is the blue trim version, and of course the black designs version of the Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA Wrestling Joe Hendry, I Believe edition right here. Thank you. You believe I also play sets? That it would be pretty crazy. I don't know about all that yet, but let's think about, this right now. Definitely like, I guess if you call in a ring a play set, we've talked about rings. So that's an exciting thing. It's not outside the realm of possibility. We just want to make sure it's good and we want to make sure you enjoy it when you get it to either collect or play with. So scales with your other wrestling action figures. If you're, a Mattel WWE Elite collector, if you're Jazzwares AEW wrestling action figure collector, even some of the older figures, I think, you're not, I'm not going to go down that road. I'm not that crazy, but definitely like your modern scale wrestling action figures, it scales pretty well with them. And that is a lot of fun, if I do say so myself. So 2 versions right here. I would be pumped with Nick Nemeth. We are making TNA wrestling action figures, so we do. We've had some great help, especially in terms of like reference and things like that from TNA wrestling, and it's been a lot of fun to be able to work on some wrestlers on their roster because it's a ginormous roster. Excuse me, really exciting. So here it is, out in the open. So let's talk about the sculpt a little bit. I think, we think it looks pretty much like Joe Hendry because it was an excellent sculpt. And I think, I I can understand, like, keep this in mind, like, as we work through this. I think this is an excellent figure release. I'm really excited about it. But I understand if you might have like early criticism on the line, and that's okay. I get it. Like, there's still some kinks we got to work out in terms of like getting like exact detail, like really shooting for that like realism look, and we're gonna get there. And I think this is a good first step, and not only a good first step, I'd say it's like a good offering. Like, I think this definitely will we be releasing lots. So it's not gonna, as of right now, we're not gonna be in any kind of like wave format. So right now we're, you know, it may not always be a surprise drop like this one was. I think that's like really fun and exciting, and I wanted to make sure that happened like for the start of the line, like Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA Wrestling. Like, I wanted to make sure that, you know, we could kind of hit the ground running with these. But beyond that, you know, as of right now, there could be some that could be like a pre-order, and there could be some, depending on where you live, it could come before Christmas. Yeah, of course. You know, so definitely keep that in mind. You can still order these and get them in time for Christmas, depending on where you live. So I'm not going to like guarantee it for anybody international, because I know like we're kind of late in that stage, if my mind serves correctly. But like, if you're kind of in like the continental US, then for sure, like there's still time. There's, you know, there's 10 days to Christmas, I think, or excuse me, even like a December 23rd delivery, let's say. I think there's definitely a good shot. The turnaround for a figure, I think it depends where you live. I'm not sure where you live, but you have $43. What are the top 3 figures I would recommend? So, you know, I'm not sure that I could give you that answer. What I would say right now is Joe Hendry is currently priced on Ringside at $39.99, and that includes, you know, two versions. Excuse me, it includes one version of 2 different figures, the same figure but with 2 versions, however you want to say it. And we have the black designs, short tights right here. The blue designs, short tights right here. Black designs, blue trim right here. 2 versions, slight differences, not just slight, but, you know, kind of different set of gear. Blue knee pads versus white knee pads, silver trim. We do have white boots on both. We do have like toe tap articulation, of course. Painted on wrist tape. Stuff's looking good. So bam, there's the smile. Joe Hendry. Yeah, again, so back to like the sculpt and stuff like that. I think it's a great sculpt. If you like, you know, have some super talented like head sculptor artist or something, and you pick up one of these and you like send that person a sculpt and you're into that like extra effort, you'll see like underneath the sculpt is like amazing detail. The paint job, you know, we worked really hard to get it to this place where it is, and this was like I think like a really good clean job by the factory, you know. So we're still working on the you saw similarly with like the other figures in the unsanctioned line, you know, and I feel like really strongly about how good they look, and I feel definitely like proud of the wrestling figures that we've released so far. And I think, you know, if it's not quite there for you in terms of level of like intense detail, I would say, you know, stick around. Maybe there's something you like in the future. But if you're like into the playability about it, and you're just like collecting and getting somebody in there that, you know, you don't have a chance to have on your roster yet, if you're playing with these, like perfect first jump into the Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned line with TNA Wrestling. And of course the inaugural Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA Wrestling figure, this and the variant right here. This is Joe Hendry, I Believe edition. Thank you. You love. Do I know what events the attires are from? Not off the top of my head, unfortunately, but I know the black is like maybe from like this past fall. I think he was already wearing it, so it's been it hasn't been that long. You know, we kind of just were able to get it in there at the end. More TNA figures coming. Yes, definitely, absolutely. It's in stock. Don't forget. I would say like summertime, expect some more. We might, you know, you never know. If something special happens before that, I'll be happy to play, you know, your deliverer of good news throughout the year. I appreciate that. This is awesome. Can it move like a regular WWE figure? Of course. Yep, we've got all the articulation that you would expect. Elbows, arms, moving it around. The waist, of course, with a little swivel right there. If you like chest hair on your wrestling figures, we got that too. Thank you, Joe Hendry, with that infamous entrance song, of course, which is where this entrance, this music bass comes from. So he has an entrance song that plays out of this music bass right here.
Name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. London and Paris and Tokyo, America, Scotland and Canada and Mexico. They say I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
There you go. Okay, now I see what's going on. I'm good at like talking in real time. Also, like, not everybody loves the head sculpt, but I think we did a great job. And I get your criticisms of it, and it's understandable if you feel that way. But I think we got a great effort here for a Joe Hendry wrestling action figure. All smiles over here, all serious over here, ready to battle in that wrestling gear. So. Thank you. I appreciate the nice word on that, smile head. So it's not, you don't like it. You like a little bit more detail. That's understandable. You're gonna either have to wait, or maybe you just don't go with us. That's totally cool with me. But on the other hand, great to have a Joe Hendry to be able to place on your wrestling figure roster. And what company made them? No, this is us. This is not Jazzwares that makes these. This is RSC Toys. That's Ringside Collectibles. Wrestlingfigures.com, of course, but Ringside Collectibles is making these Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA Wrestling action figures right here. Kicking off with the Joe Hendry I Believe edition. This is the first one right here. Check it out. Packaging right here. Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA Wrestling. Joe Hendry. The lyrics on the back right here to that incredible song. The Ringside Unsanctioned TNA logo right there. Yes, we'll still be doing Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned Classic Superstars. So do not fret with that. But for now, Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA Wrestling right here. Very exciting. Joe Hendry I Believe edition with the entrance, music bass right here that plays the entrance theme. I appreciate that. I'm also happy we're doing some TNA figures. New ones coming soon. Very exciting. And, check out the roster and see who you like on there. It is in stock right now. It is for sale. Wrestlingfigures.com. You can go there now and pick it up. Wrestlingfigures.com. Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned right there. Okay. Let's see. I lost you guys. There you are. Okay. Check that out. In stock now, not a pre-order. Ringside Collectibles, Unsanctioned, TNA Wrestling figures. You feel like I just won an award. Yeah. Got the same bellyache. Looking good right here. TNA Wrestling Unsanctioned. Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned with TNA Wrestling, excuse me. Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned, TNA Wrestling. Joe Hendry right here. I Believe edition, the inaugural figure. Yeah, go. Is there a Ringside Live on Friday? There will be another one. Yes. So, thigh cut. Have a look at the side here. This was definitely the best way to apply the design for us. That great detail. 2 versions, black designs, the blue trim version right here. In stock now. Let's play the song again.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. To the love of London and Paris and Tokyo, America, Scotland and Canada and Mexico. They say I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
There you go. The question, will the LOD open hands work with his figure? He has his own open hands, actually. So, are you talking about maybe the wider ones? But yeah, they should be interchangeable. I'm not sure like the skin tone would match up, but they're there. Yeah, thanks for the good word. You know, I hope you guys enjoy these. It's a lot of fun that we get to work on TNA Wrestling figures now. Ringside Collectibles, Unsanctioned, TNA Wrestling. Keep naming those names on the roster, and keep watching TNA Wrestling on with the new TV deal. Find it on AMC. I think it's worth watching for sure. Some of the best wrestling I've ever seen is on TNA Wrestling. Still a lot of fun to watch. So keep that in mind as you're collecting the all new Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA Wrestling Joe Hendry I Believe edition right here. Music base, interchangeable heads, soft goods shirt with the logo. Will they be back in stock? Yes, they will. If they're out of stock, they'll be back in soon. So there they are. Exciting reveal. I don't, where do you get this? You get it at WrestlingFigures.com. Total nonstop awesomeness with this line. Thank you, buddy. I also can't wait to see what's next. I think we're working on a lot of other fun things right now. And yeah, like rings and accessories and things like that, they're not off the table. So I'd say leave comments on our page, like hit us up. It's totally worth it to let us know. And we're happy to listen to whatever you have in mind. It's a lot of fun to say that we're able to work on some of these names from the excellent TNA Wrestling roster. Yes, if you're, I don't know where you are, Elijah Waltman, but if you're like in the continental United States, if you ordered one of these today, for sure you'd probably get it before Christmas. Barring an unforeseen delivery truck, something. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Bless all those folks out there delivering and working hard in the holiday season, for sure. In stock now. Do I have someone I want in figure form? For sure. I think definitely there's a name that I'm working on right now that I can't say, I guess, maybe that definitely I've wanted in figure form, but beyond maybe like someone I'm not working on yet. Like I think Nick Nemeth would be awesome. I think Kazarian is like a world champion would be awesome. I think Mike Santana has had some incredible TNA moments, and even one just recently that like comes to mind to me, which would be an awesome figure. A lot of great names and guys there. Yeah, they're in stock now, buddy. I see you're from West Virginia. Yeah, so if you go look now, wrestlingfigures.com, I'm pretty sure they're there. So you can go pick them up now. Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned, TNA Wrestling action figures right here with the debuting Joe Hendry, the I Believe edition in blue trim, short tights, and black designs right here. This is the main version and the variant. Music bass right here plays his entrance theme. Let's hear it again.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. To the love of London and Paris and Tokyo, America, Scotland and Canada and Mexico. They say I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
There you go. What do you think? Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA Wrestling action figure, the Joe Hendry I Believe edition. And that was the music bass, just playing his theme song. You can see the ringside right there in the music bass, the speaker. Yeah, someone else asked that. The LOD hands, yeah, I think they would fit, but I think the skin tone might be a little different. So you may not want to. I guess you could do it. It might look a little weird, but yeah, they should fit. Thanks for the good word on the display stand. Yeah, I also, yeah, obviously like the Hardys, that's like some next level stuff. I would love to work on either one of the Hardys, and I think that would be a lot of fun, don't you? There's some classic wrestling action figures of the Hardys, and I would love to make some more. Thank you. I'm glad you grabbed one. Someone has to, no, man, don't say anything bad on the live stream. Let's just hang out and talk about figures. Anyway, TNA Wrestling right here, debuting. Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned, TNA Wrestling right here, the Joe Hendry wrestling action figure. Giving you a chance to look at the details here, take them in. A lot of fun. As I've said a few times now, I love TNA Wrestling. Some of the best wrestling I've ever watched in my life has been on TNA Wrestling. When will it start to come to people's house? If you order it now, if you live like somewhere in the continental U.S., like that means like not Alaska or Hawaii, it might take a little longer for there. But if you live in the rest of the country, you could probably get it now before Christmas if you were to order it now. So check those out. You can see, if you're looking for the figure page on the site, you can see them right on the front page. If you go to wrestlingfigures.com, it's one of the main banners right now. So if you're having a hard time finding it, that's where you go, wrestlingfigures.com. Check it out. WrestlingFigures.com. It's up there. Thank you for ordering both versions. I would love to see Leon Slater also. The Rascals would be cool. Moose would also be cool. Yes, of course. Knockouts champion and world heavyweight champion. I would like to see that. Ying Lee, of course. Frankie Kazarian, of course. Leon Slater, I get it. That's why that name gets thrown out there so often. I feel like the price point pretty good. We're working with kind of a standard wrestling action figure price point, but with the extra bells and whistles, some interchangeable hands. The Joe Hendry removable soft goods. I believe in Joe Hendry shirt right here. Black designs. This is the main version. The blue trim variant right here. So that JH. The knee pads, as I said, you're used to removable knee pads, I think, in the Ringside Unsanctioned line. But in this case, worked out better for the mechanics and the look for us to have open back right there. So we got those white boots. They are in scale with Mattel and Jazzwares, yeah. So if you already have a big wrestling action figure collection with Mattel WWE figures and Jazzwares AEW figures, this figure will fit right in. You can have a lot of fun with that, hopefully. Let's see what else. Tommy Dreamer would be awesome. Cardona would be cool, of course. Women's roster, yep, that's open for figures, and we do have a few things cooking there, so we'll see what could come from that. But yeah, nobody's off the table. So there you have it, folks. Ryan Nemeth, yeah, like the Nemeth boys are on the table. Anybody that's on the active TNA wrestling roster, we could make a wrestling figure of them in the Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA wrestling line, and that would be a lot of fun, I think. So I hope you like these. I really do. I think some great detail on these, some great articulation, the music base, of course, a lot of fun. When you press that button and hear that theme.
Name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. To the love of London and Paris and Tokyo, America, Scotland and Canada and Mexico. They say I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
I gotta do it again. There we go. There's the turn pose, the theme song, the music base, soft goods, entrance shirt. A lot of fun to work on these. And very exciting to announce with this figure the Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA Wrestling action figures. So we will be releasing more figures from the TNA Wrestling action, roster. Some more wrestling action figures. Really exciting. How does it look next to it? You know what? Here's what I'll do. I'll grab one of each company so you can see. Get a little comparison here. So bear with me just a second. Put someone maybe a little bigger up there and all right. So Here's I just found Tony Schiavone here, ringside exclusive, and here's Joe Hendry right next to him. So that's how you can see a little bit of I know maybe an announcer. I try to find a wrestler in a moment, but there's this right here for comparison. And I'll give you a Mattel WWE Elite comparison right here. There you go. So you can see, it's kind of definitely like a good height matchup, good face off here. You could recreate this, of course. A lot of fun. Lots going on. Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned brings TNA wrestling action figures to your homes. With the debut figure, the Joe Hendry I Believe edition, that of course comes with the music base right here. Where can you get that? You can get it at wrestlingfigures.com. Yeah, thank you, buddy. I like that too. It is a lot of fun to, it's a safe space for us here, right? And we get to hang out and talk wrestling figures, and everyone's welcome to have some fun with it. And I think part of what makes that extra fun is like mixing the figures up, so especially the ones that are active. And I totally understand people that like to collect distinct things, but I think if you're like playing with them and there's, a lot more going on to it. I have a lot of like friends and people I know that have figure feds with their kids and stuff like that. I think this totally fits right in with whatever you're doing with any kind of that type of action. So yeah, you see here, all three companies kind of lined up with an example, and it fits for sure. Some great time to be a wrestling figure collector, and great time to be a Joe Hendry fan, because you can check it out right here. Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA Wrestling Joe Hendry I Believe edition right there. Chest hair detail, of course, the sculpt up here, nice big smile. Those angles in there so you can kind of see it from a few perspectives. And the blue variant, the serious one. There we go. Blue trim, blue variant right here. Blue knee pads with silver in the back right there on this version. And of course, the main version will say the black designs right here. Which one you like better, the black trim or the blue trim? I want to know. The blue trim, a little bit of a throwback, and the black trim, a lot more current. So when we were still kind of working on this, we were able to fit a more current gear in there. So that is kind of exciting for, what works for like turnaround time and stuff like that for us. So as we try to develop some cool wrestling action figures, sometimes we get lucky and kind of can fit some things in. Blue, that's cool. Yeah, the blue is definitely super clean. Of course, the the JH logo on the side, super clean, looks good. Definitely like that. But again, if you're like running a figure fed or something fun like that, you got the black designs here. That's the main version, right? Get them on your roster as soon as you can, so we can face off for some championships. Of course, Joe Hendry, former TNA World Heavyweight Champion, and wore that belt proudly, crossing over to other wrestling worlds, and also wearing it proudly in his own wrestling world of TNA wrestling. So, of course, as I've said a few times now, I am a big TNA wrestling fan. So this is very exciting for me. Some of the best wrestling I've ever watched in my life has been on TNA wrestling, and it's really exciting to be able to have RSC Toys, Ringside Collectibles, make some TNA wrestling action figures. So very cool. Is it only going to be one figure per line? So that's kind of, I wouldn't call this like any kind of line or anything like that, but you never know. I was saying earlier, like there might be, some pre-orders that should work out, and then it's possible beyond that you might get another surprise, so I would expect more from Joe Hendry. Yeah, I see someone. You should. The stand plays his entrance. It does. I'll hit it again in just a moment. Thank you with the good word on the shirt design. Yeah, the whole entrance. Say that to the guy who's been sitting here for an hour pressing it. It's his whole entrance, and it's really good. It's a classic song. Joe Hendry right here. Infamous, not just for his wrestling, but his crossing over and his earbug of a theme song. So let's hear the music base once more. Oh, wrong one. I have also a test one here with some without that I took the batteries out.
Name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Love in London and Paris and Tokyo, America, Scotland and Canada and Mexico. They say I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
There we go. Joe Hendry, I Believe edition. This is Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA wrestling figure, the first to come out in the line. And it's Joe Hendry. So former TNA World Heavyweight Champion right here. A new fan favorite. Here's his entrance base that he can stand on. We'll take another quick look at the packaging, and then I'm going to bounce soon because we've been at this for a while, folks. Time to spread some love and let everybody see it if you haven't yet. So there's the backdrop in there. TNA Wrestling right here up at the top. Ringside Collectibles exclusive. Joe Hendry, I Believe edition right here. It has the Try Me for the music base right here. The big smiles on the side, of course, for a smiling Joe Hendry figure. And on the back, lyrics to his theme. For those of you to follow along. Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA Wrestling right here. Very happy and proud to be making wrestling action figures for the TNA Wrestling program. Make sure you're watching on AMC when it moves there. Congratulations to them on the TV deal. And the more that you support your favorite wrestlers, of course, the more of a shot they have to get a wrestling action figure as we kick off this cool line. And here's the, real quick, I took the insert out, but here's the packaging for the blue version as well. A little bit of blue detail. Otherwise, the same lyrics. Are we going to do more TNA wrestlers? Yes, we will. Definitely more to come. More TNA wrestlers. Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA Wrestling. The first release is Joe Hendry, I Believe edition right here. Looking good. Joe Hendry, former TNA Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. And the first in this lineup. All right, folks. I hope you like these. I really do. And, I'm all ears. So if you want to talk about figures and stuff like that and what kind of details you think are important, like you can always come over to Wrestling Figs and talk about that. My chat and whatnot is always open. I definitely if I don't get back to you right away, that's one thing, but I definitely eventually will respond or write to you. And, you can always join in on the discussions and comments and stuff like that. But I want to hear your thoughts. Do you like the blue better? Do you like the black better? What else would you like to see as a Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA Wrestling action figure? wrestling figures. It's a great time to collect wrestling action figures. And as someone was asking before, do they go with other figures? Yep. We've got a Jazzwares figure here and a Mattel figure right here. And there's a lot of room for them to go together and a lot of different matches to come out of that. So have fun with it. I really hope you do. I think that's what it's all for me. So, and if you're collecting and you're into this, we'd love to have you on board to jump into some hopefully classic TNA wrestling moments, both new and classic. So lots of excitement with respect to this. And thank you for jumping on a little bit more than quick, but a nice live as we debut a brand new figure. Thank you. Picked up. Oh, good. Thanks for the good word. I'm glad you picked one up. Blue shirt, white pants, Hendry. I can see that too, but it's going to be limited for us. Keep that in mind, because Joe Hendry, it's a little bit of a different situation with him, but we can say we have these now in stock at WrestlingFigures.com. So you can pick this up right now, either the black design version or the blue trim version. This is the I Believe edition, so it comes with a music base right here. Don't forget. So music base, 2 pairs of interchangeable hands, and of course the soft goods Joe Hendry, I Believe in Joe Hendry shirt right here, a classic Joe Hendry staple as he walked the halls of TNA and walked the ramp of TNA. Former TNA World Heavyweight Champion right here with an all-new wrestling action figure. Black designs, blue trim, interchangeable, 2 pairs of interchangeable hands, a white soft goods shirt, and a music base that plays his entrance theme. So very cool. I'm glad you like it. Thanks for jumping on. And I'll what is next time we go live? So you can see us on Friday for Ringside Live, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. You can jump into that, and I will play the base one more time for you to check out. And you can order these now; they're in stock now at WrestlingFigures.com. Ringside Collectibles, Unsanctioned, TNA Wrestling, Joe Hendry, I Believe edition.
Name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. To the love of London and Paris and Tokyo, America, Scotland and Canada and Mexico. They say I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
All right, there we go. Ringside Collectibles, WrestlingFigures.com, Ringside Collectibles, Unsanctioned, TNA Wrestling, Joe Hendry, I Believe edition, in stock now at WrestlingFigures.com. Both versions. Black designs, blue trim, in stock now. Joe Hendry, I Believe edition. Ringside Collectibles, Unsanctioned. Appreciate that. Unsanctioned for the win. Ringside Collectibles, Unsanctioned, TNA Wrestling, the first figure, Joe Hendry, I Believe edition, now in stock. Thank you all. Enjoy.